Welcome to Raise the Bar Time and your Tuesday workout. Let's see what we got for you on the board. Okay, so we have 30 lateral deadlift jumps. Sounds exciting, huh? I'm going to show you what that is. Okay, if you're not quite sure what that is. And then we've got max set unbroken handstand push-ups. And we're doing 4 rounds. So it's not a particularly complicated workout today, but we'll show what we're doing. So we're doing 30 lateral deadlift jumps. The intention of this lateral deadlift jump is to try and get that heart rate up as much as possible. Okay, we are going to have a scaling option where you can actually use that timer to run as hard as you can. So it's getting your heart rate up as high as you can. It should take you about a minute. And under fatigue, with that heavy breathing, we're going to try and do as many unbroken handstand push-ups as you can. So the intention is some strength endurance, some strength work under fatigue with a cardiovascular stimulation going on. Right, and we're doing four rounds. Ideally, there's no rest between rounds, right? But what we may do what we may decide to do is that in order to get the most out of you over here, we may say, okay, take like 15 seconds or 20 seconds in this position directly after unbroken push-ups, get your heart rate back down just a little bit, get your breath back, hit the run hard again, or hit those lateral deadlift jumps hard again, get your heart rate up nice and high, go straight back into as many unbroken handstand push-ups as you can. Okay, so your scaling options for today's workout. If you can run, if you've got a place to run, we're probably looking for about a 200-meter run, okay, or somewhere where you can run for 1 minute. If you can't make it to 200 meters and back in 1 minute, go for a 100-meter run, okay. You'll obviously be running a little bit slower, but we're looking for about 1 minute of stimulus time. So lateral deadlift jump, if you haven't got a place to run, and if you can't do the lateral deadlift jumps that we show you, we're going to do a step up and over deadlift. So deadlift, step to the side, deadlift, step to the side. That will get your heart rate going a little bit. And then for your unbroken handstand push-ups, we're going to do some kind of either a pike progression, so feet on the floor, hands on the floor, hips tucked inside, or with some kind of a scale elevation with the feet up against the wall, or if we can't do an overhead position, we'll be doing push-ups. So an unbroken, as many reps as you can, push-ups. Right? Short rest, 4 rounds, that's your stimulus, that's the workout. Let's have a quick look at the movements. Right, so your lateral deadlift jump is going to look something like this. Right, all we're looking for in the deadlift, we don't want to see a squat. So I don't want to see too much quads bending, body up right here. I want to see much work of a hinging in the hips. So you're going to press the hips back, feet are going to touch the side, you're going to squeeze the hips back up, right? So remember, straight back, shoulders back, chest up, more hamstring stretch, hands are touch. You can do just in front of the toes if you want. If you want to touch the middle of the body, you can. If you feel that your hamstrings are very tight, you can go a little bit wider, touch the middle, okay, and then squeeze, and you're going to jump to the side. Okay, so going to be deadlift, jump to the side, deadlift, jump to the side, deadlift, jump to the side, deadlift, jump to the side. If you feel that that jump to the side is too much for the knees, then just do a normal jump, jump, touch, deadlift, jump, deadlift, jump. And we're looking for 30 reps. The 30 reps is going to get your heart rate up. It's got my heart rate up already as well. That's your 30 lateral deadlift jump. If you're not doing a jump, you can just do a step. Step, step to the side, deadlift, step to the side, deadlift, step to the side. Remember to keep the back nice and straight. Deadlift, step to the side, deadlift, hamstrings, glutes, lower back. Not this, okay? It's not a squat. Okay, we'll save the squatting for tomorrow. Okay, that's going to be your deadlift with the different scale or with the different scaling options. Next one we're looking for is your handstand options. So let's start with your pike, with your progressions first. We're starting a push-up progression. Remember what you're looking for: tummy tucked in, knees to floor, chest to floor, touch, press, push up into the knees, lift the knees. Knees to floor, chest to floor, push up, lift. What I want you to focus on, remember with the push-ups, is that you're not snaking into the back. Don't let the hips drop. And when you push up, make sure the chest doesn't come off the floor at the same time. Hit the hips and the chest, same time, so that the stomach stays engaged, not going to the low back on the push-up. If you can do strict push-ups, do strict. Right, if you can push back slightly, then you're going to start doing some kind of a pike. Touch, pike, pushing back, touch, pushing back. The more you can get your hips over the top of the shoulders, the more work on that push-up. Right, so from there, push back, hold, head to touch between the hands, touch, press. If you want to get a pillow underneath, you can. So touching head to a pillow, touch, press. That's your pike handstand push-up. I was going to do keeping on the floor, on the wall, up, kip, and then if you've got handstand push-ups, go for your handstand push-ups so we can work through that. That's going to be your 2 movements. 30 lateral deadlift jumps, get your heart rate up, otherwise you're running for a minute. Come straight back in. If you've got handstand push-ups, do as many unbroken handstand push-ups as you can. Right? So that means without falling off the wall, or if you can't get off the floor anymore, if you're not doing handstand push-ups, doing one of those scaling options to work. If your shoulders are sore and you can't do a push-up even, change it to a sit-up, go for max rep sit-ups. Nice big set of sit-ups to help you. All right, guys, that's the 2 movements. That's the workout for today. Hit it nice and hard. The less rest you give yourself over here, the more demanding the workout's going to be. Choose your scale, choose how hard you want to work. If you want to give yourself more rest, give yourself more rest. That's the workout for today. Let's have a quick look at our warm-up for today, Tuesday. Okay, guys, so our warm-up. So we're going to do a 5-minute run, row, skip. If you've got a place to skip or you've got a place to run, go outside and run, come back in, skip for a little while. If you can row, if you've got a rowing machine, do that. Do jumping jacks, chase the dog, chase the kids, get warm for 5 minutes. Then what we're going to do is we're going to set out a running track that you're going to use for your run a little bit later. So if you've got a place that you can run for 200 meters, great. Maybe you can run out through the garage door, run down to the corner of the street, come back inside. If you haven't got somewhere you can run, you can use it for skipping, okay? Or you can just run in the spot, maybe do little runs, or you can do backs and forwards on the line, okay? Anything that will get your heart rate up for about a minute. You're going to come back in, we're going to do 20 mountain climbers and 5 inch-room to push-ups, right? So we do 20 mountain climbers first. So what happens is 3, 2, 1, go. You're going to run, okay, for that 1 minute run, come back in. Then we go into your mountain climbers. Your mountain climbers, you're looking for, remember, shoulders over the top of the hand. One again, you're going to hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you're doing 20 in total, 10 each side. Your alternative option for this one today is that you get the look in front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so a little bit more demanding, bigger, slightly bigger movement, more mobility required in the hips. So you can do a full jump, lunge, jump, lunge, jump, lunge with your hands on the floor as a variation for your mountain climbers today. You do 20 of those. Then what we're going to go into is 5 inchworm to push-up. So we're going to do an inchworm, 1 push-up, walk back up, walk back up. From there, hands to floor, chest to floor. Okay, get a nice stretch in the hamstrings, walk forward, knees to floor, chest to floor, 1 push-up, push back through the shoulders, and slowly walk back, touch, roll back up on the side. That's 1. Stretch forward, knees to floor, chest to floor, push back up, push back through the shoulders, stretch, stand, 2. Right, then the second one. We're going to run 200 meters again, do 20 bird peckers and 5 candlesticks. So 3, 2, 1, go. 200 meter run, or run for a minute, or on the spot for a minute, come back in, bird peckers. So we're going to do 10 on one side, 10 on the other side. We're going to alternate left side, right side. So from here, hand comes up, touch, 1, hand comes up, touch, 2, hand comes up, touch, 3, try and keep your balance, hand comes up, touch, 4, hand comes up, touch, 5, and we're doing 20 in total, 10 each side. That's going to be your bird peckers. Then we're doing 5 candlesticks. So your candlesticks, if you can do a candlestick to stand, we're going to do a candlestick to stand. If you can't do a candlestick to stand, we're just going to do a straight candlestick. So a straight candlestick is going to look like this. Hands on the floor, bum on the mat. Make sure the candlestick part, that your weight stays on your shoulders, doesn't go into your neck. So from here we're going to push up, candlestick, roll back down, touch your toes. This is your first progression. Candlestick, touch your toes. 2, candlestick, touch your toes. 3. That's going to be your first candlestick progression. it's probably a good idea to do those. It's a little bit of like a mobility and warm up. Your candlestick to stand. It's going to be the same thing. Candlestick, as you come forward, you're going to pull the heels in. Good squat position. Put yourself into a standing position. That's it from there. Candlestick. Whoop. Ooh, that's so good. Stand. If you need to cross the legs, cross the legs. Need a bit more mobile in the knees. Same thing when you go back down. You're going to press back, hips, roll. Candlestick. Cross the legs if you want. If you don't have to cross the legs, don't cross the legs. You're going to do 5 of those. So your bird pickers, 5 candlesticks, maybe a little bit extra mobility in the beginning. Third one, run 200 meters again, or get warm for a minute. You do 20 wide stance floor touches, 5 wall climbs. So the wide stance floor is start to prep your lower back for those deadlifts. Okay. So what you're looking for, feet nice and wide. Push hips backwards, touch, 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 touch. Doing 20. Okay, it's just a nice stretch to the hamstrings and the lower back. Back straight, chest up. Work is in the hamstrings. Shoulders back, chest. Don't let the body go round. Work between the shoulder blades. Shoulder back, touch. Reach up. Touch. Make sure you're not into the lower back. Just squeeze the glutes. Press the hips up. Lock those arms into the overhead position. Touch. Touch. Touch, 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 and that overhead stretch is going to work on some of that mobility that you need for the shoulders, for that overhead walk, going to come through a little bit later. 20 of those. Then we're going to go into a wall walk. Okay, so wall walk, you can go back as far as you're able to. First progression, chest to floor, push back up, press to the shoulders. That may be enough for you. Okay, hold it there. From there, you may have to come back forward, down to the knees again. Second progression. Push back to the shoulders, walk your hands up a little bit, take your feet halfway up the wall. Hold, rest, 3, 2, 1, walk back down. Chest. Third progression, if you can go all the way up, then go all the way up. Press back or as far as your shoulders will allow you. Press up, press up, press up, press up. Try and get the forehead to touch the wall. Head back through and then walk your feet back down the wall. Hands to floor, chest to floor. Touch, push. So you're doing 5 wall walks. If you only do a bit of a hold, give yourself a hold for about 3 seconds in that position. Lock the arms out, walk back down, chest to floor, do 5 of those. That's our warm-up. Should have your heart rate up nice and high. Those 3 movements. So for some strength work today, we're going to do some handstand work, some overhead holding with those arms locked out. We're going to get some strength through that shoulder girdle. All right, so the first one, we're going to do a 30-second handstand hold. Then we're going to give yourself about 10, 15 seconds rest, enough time for the shoulders to recover. And we're going to do 10 handstand shoulder taps. Okay, we've got different scaling options for each of those. And we're going to do about 2 rounds of that. So the first one, 30-second handstand hold. So your first option for this, we're going to do a pike hold. You're going to push back, and depending on how strong you are, depends on when you're on your shoulder mobility, you're going to press back as far as you can. And we're going to hold 30 seconds, holding that position, 30 seconds. That may be enough for you with your feet on the floor, hips pushed back, arms locked out. Second progression is with your feet halfway up the wall. All right, so we're going to do, push back through the arms, take your feet halfway up, and tummy tucked in. Try and get those hips over the top of the shoulders, lock those arms out, tummy, hold, 30 seconds, walk back down at the end of your 30 seconds. If you can do a full walk up, you can walk up all the way with your feet to the wall if you want to. Alternatively, you can kick up into a handstand. So from there, arms locked out, kicked out. Okay, try and keep your bum off the wall, hips press out, point your toes, push out through the arms, squeeze the bum together. Remember to keep the bum nice and tight, the knees locked out, the stomach tight, pressing up through the arms, and you're holding for as long as you can for a 30-second hold. Give yourself 15 seconds rest. Okay, work the shoulders, work the neck. Then we do handstand shoulder taps. So first progression, handstand shoulder taps. We're doing 10 taps each side. So from there, what we're going to do is going to lock out. You're holding, and you're touching 1, touch 2, touch 3. As you lock out, as I touch this side, I need to make sure that my opposite side
is locked up. Touch, make sure my shoulder girdle is locked. Left and right. Left and right. Left and right.
Okay, that's your first progression, shoulder taps. Second progression, shoulder taps. Feet up on against the wall. Same thing as you did before. Try and keep your feet to the middle. Try not let the hips move too much from side to side. Stabilize. Touch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your option. Right? And then your third one, again, you can either face the wall or you can kick up. And try not to hold the wall. I can hold the wall because I've got a pillar. And touch. Left, right, left, right, left. Try and go for 10 taps each side if you can. If you can't get to 10 taps, you feel like you're fatiguing before that, just do 5 each side if you need to. Okay. We're going to do 2 rounds of that. So you do 30-second hold in whatever progression you're going to do, either up against the wall or in some kind of a pike. Give your shoulder a bit of a rest. Do 10 shoulder taps each side, alternating left and right, so 20 in total. Okay, or as many reps as you can until you feel the shoulders are going to fatigue. Rest. Do another round. Okay, so you're doing 2 rounds of that. Then you're going to do 5 strict handstand push-ups or some kind of elevated feet or a pike. And we're going to do 5 kipping handstand practice. So we're going to practice that kipping work. So this is where we're going to start getting some pressing work, some kipping, some strength work in that overhead position. And part of this is also warming up for the handstands for the workout. Okay, so if you're doing a pike handstand push-up, head tucked in, push through, top of the head to touch the floor, press. If you're not doing a handstand push-up, you can do a normal push-up. You can also just do normal push-up off the floor. All right, and then if you can kick up on the wall, you can do strict handstand push-ups if you've got strict. If you can't, practice your handstand, your kipping handstand push-ups. All right, and I want you to do 2 rounds of that. I'm looking for about 3 to 5 strict handstand push-ups. If you're strong enough that 5 isn't enough, go for 10. Just get those shoulders nice and warm. Make it as strict as you can. If you are strong enough to do strict handstand push-ups, maybe do a bit of a deficit. Put some books on the side, put some boxes on the side. Try and get your head a bit deeper than you might normally be able to get through. If you've got kipping handstand push-ups, give yourself some kipping handstand push-ups as well if you can't do strict. Rest a little bit between rounds. Give yourself 2 rounds of that. Okay. So that is the handstand work. A little bit of strength work today in that overhead position. Remember, if you can't get overhead, do the work in a push-up position. Shoulder taps, push-ups, holds, all of that. It's all going to help to get the shoulder girdle here stronger, which is exactly what we need. Okay, guys, that is the workout. We've been through that already. Nice Tuesday workout. Push it as hard as you can. Get that heart rate up. We've got 2 scoring options. You're scoring both your time that it takes you to complete the 4 rounds, and you're scoring the total number of handstand push-ups per round. So score your first round, score your second round, score your third round, score your 4th round, and the time that you do it in. The time is there to make sure you don't rest too much between sets. That's your Tuesday. We've got a great workout for you tomorrow, Wednesday. Don't miss it. Otherwise, have a good day.